before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, and drop a comment, because the story you're about to hear will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about online safety. The flashing red and blue lights bounced off the rain-soaked asphalt as officers crowded around the quiet suburban street in Ridgewood Heights. It was supposed to be one of the safest towns in the region, a place where kids rode bikes freely, neighbors waved from their porches, and police sirens were rare enough to draw half the neighborhood outside. But tonight, the calm had shattered. At 10:43 p.m., paramedics carried the lifeless body of 15-year-old Ethan Walker out of his family's home. His mother stood frozen in the doorway, trembling, her hands pressed against her face. His father, pale and shaking, tried to answer detectives' questions, but the sentences came out fractured, broken, impossible to form. The official call came in as a teen suicide, but nothing about the scene felt clean, simple, or expected. Detective Mara Ellison arrived minutes later, a sharp-eyed investigator known for spotting what others missed. She stepped into Ethan's room. Posters on the wall, a backpack on the floor, and a laptop sitting open on his desk. Nothing disturbed, nothing thrown, no sign of a struggle. But something about the air felt wrong, like the room was hiding a truth so heavy it pressed against the walls. On the laptop screen, a chat window glowed faintly. One message unread. Detective Ellison leaned in. The sender's name wasn't familiar. A blank profile picture. No mutual friends. No history. Just a string of threatening messages. Ethan's parents hadn't known about any of this. They said he had been happy that weekend, laughing over breakfast, talking about school projects, helping his little sister build a fort in the living room. Nothing hinted at panic. Nothing hinted at fear. But the chat told another story. It revealed a countdown, a demand, a threat to expose something personal, something humiliating, something a terrified 15-year-old boy might desperately try to hide. The last message was sent 3 hours before his death, and that message read, "Time's up." Detective Ellison called for the department's cybercrime unit. They secured the laptop, traced the metadata, tried to track the anonymous account, but the sender had used a VPN, burner accounts, and a maze of overseas routing. Whoever was behind it wasn't just some reckless teenager playing a cruel game. They were calculated, prepared, and experienced. Meanwhile, Ethan's father kept repeating the same sentence. "They're saying it's suicide, but in my book, it's 100% murder." The statement hit Ellison harder than she expected, because deep down, she already agreed. Ethan hadn't been pushed physically. He had been cornered mentally, trapped emotionally, driven into a place of terror no child should ever reach. As officers searched the room, an investigator called Ellison over. He had found something. A small flash drive taped under Ethan's desk. A flash drive Ethan hid. A flash drive that wasn't on any inventory list. Ellison knew instantly. Kids don't hide something unless they're scared. She plugged it into a secure device. Inside were screenshots, usernames, threat logs, and one photo that made her blood run cold. A face, blurred, masked, watching Ethan through his own window. And that was the moment Ellison realized this wasn't just online harassment. This was a hunt, and they had only uncovered the first piece. Rain hammered against the precinct windows as Detective Mara Ellison stared at the blurred image on the flash drive. The masked figure outside Ethan's window was positioned too perfectly, standing just beyond the glow of the porch light, hidden in shadow, yet unmistakably facing the boy's room. Whoever this was had not only tormented Ethan online, they had come to the house. They had crossed the digital line into the real world. Ellison printed the image, pinning it to the evidence board. The team followed her silent cue, gathering around. She said, "This wasn't random. Someone targeted him. Someone watched him." The cyber unit was already scrubbing the flash drive for metadata. Most of the files were screenshots from Ethan's own laptop, threats, blackmail demands, countdown timers, and a chilling series of messages urging him to comply or face total exposure. But Ellison kept returning to one entry, a username repeated across different platforms: Night Raven 47. It wasn't much, but it was a thread, and she was ready to pull. As investigators dug deeper, Ellison headed to Ridgewood High School. Inside the counseling office, a tight-lipped social worker handed Ellison Ethan's file. He didn't show signs of bullying, the counselor insisted. His teachers adored him, smart kid, respectful, no disciplinary notes. But Ellison noticed something odd. 3 weeks before his death, Ethan had abruptly stopped attending his after-school robotics club. He'd been one of the top students, yet he had walked away without explanation. Next stop, the robotics advisor. Mr. Klein, nervously adjusting his glasses, told the detective he wasn't himself those last few weeks, kept checking his phone, jumped to sudden noises. One day he just said, "I messed up. I don't know how to fix it." When I tried asking more, he shut down. Ellison's stomach tightened. The pattern was clear. Ethan had been spiraling, and no one saw the chains pulling him down. But the case took a darker turn when she visited the Walker home a second time. Ethan's younger sister, Lily, only 11, approached her hesitantly with a tablet clutched to her chest. "You should see this," she whispered. The video was grainy, recorded through Ethan's window. A tall figure, dressed in dark clothing, stood on the lawn, not moving, just watching the house, watching Ethan's window. The timestamp was 2 nights before the boy died. Ellison replayed the clip, freezing on the moment the figure lifted his head, catching just enough light to reveal the edge of a mask, smooth, featureless, like something bought online for anonymity. A cold certainty hit her. The person behind the online threats wasn't across the world, they were local. They were close. Back at the station, the cyber unit finally got a hit. It wasn't much, a slip in the VPN routing, a momentary blip where the user's real location peeked through. The IP traced not to another country, not to another state, but a location Ellison recognized instantly. A storage facility, 2 miles from Ethan's home. Ellison and her partner raced to the location. Row after row of metal doors stretched into the night, each one indistinguishable from the next. The manager shakily handed over the entry logs. One unit had been accessed at 3:12 a.m., 2 days before Ethan died. Unit 47. They approached cautiously, flashlights cutting through the dark hallway. The metal door looked ordinary until Ellison noticed the faintest scrape marks near the lock. Someone had opened this door often, recently. She signaled her partner. They slid the lock open, lifted the door, and froze. Inside the dark unit were dozens of photos. Photos of Ethan,
walking to school, bike riding, in his backyard, sitting by his window. Some taken from yards away, some taken from just feet. But the worst part wasn't the photos. It was the wall behind them. A large corkboard covered edge to edge with surveillance notes, timestamps, printed messages. And in the center, a printed screenshot of Ethan's last message. One word: please. Ellison felt a cold wave crash through her body. This wasn't sextortion anymore. This was predation. And the predator was just getting started.
Detective Mara Ellison stood inside Unit 47, the smell of dust and cold concrete clinging to the back of her throat. The photos, the notes, the obsessive tracking. This wasn't the work of someone who stumbled onto a victim. This was someone who selected Ethan, someone who planned it long before the first threatening message was sent. Her partner called her over to a small desk shoved against the back wall. A stack of burner phones lay inside a shoebox, each labeled with dates, each used briefly, then discarded. A methodical system, clean, careful, predatory. But the most disturbing item on the desk was a tablet left in sleep mode. Ellison tapped the screen awake. A live chat window was open. Night Raven 47. He broke too fast. Need a stronger one next time. Ellison felt her entire body tighten. Next time. They weren't done. Ethan wasn't the first, and he wasn't supposed to be the last. Before she could process the thought, her partner pointed to a second tab on the tablet. Another chat, another victim, a username Ellison didn't recognize. Sunset Kid 13. The last message in the thread had been sent only minutes earlier, and it read, "Meet me where we met Ethan." A chill went through her. The predator was active right now. Ellison grabbed the tablet, sprinting out of the storage unit. "Trace this, now!" she shouted as she shoved it into the tech team's hands. Her partner ran beside her, already on the radio, calling in every available unit. The trace broke through within seconds. Location: Ridgewood Community Park. A small playground, a swing set, a place where kids went after school. And tonight, it was a hunting ground. When Ellison arrived, the park was empty except for a faint silhouette sitting on the swings. A small boy, hoodie up, head down, rocking gently back and forth. Alone. Vulnerable. "Sunset Kid 13, she whispered. She approached carefully. "Hey buddy, are you okay? My name is Mara. I'm here to help you." The boy looked up, eyes wide with fear. "He said he'd be here. He said I needed to come alone or—" A twig snapped. Ellison spun. A man stepped from behind the trees, dressed in the same dark clothing from the photos. A smooth, featureless mask covered his face. He moved with calm precision, no panic, no hesitation, as if he had rehearsed this for months. "Police! Hands up, now!" The masked man didn't run. He simply tilted his head, studying her the way a scientist studies an insect. Ethan was weak, but this one— Ellison lunged! Her partner charged at the same time. The masked man bolted, sprinting through the trees with terrifying speed. Branches whipped past as Ellison chased him down a narrow path, heart pounding like gunfire. The forest lit up with flashlights and shouted commands. The suspect darted toward a steep embankment. He miscalculated. One slip, one stumble, one scream swallowed by the darkness. He tumbled down the rocky slope, landing motionless at the bottom. By the time Ellison reached him, the mask had cracked in half. And beneath it was a face no one expected. Not a stranger, not a drifter. A local youth mentor, respected, trusted. Someone parents left their kids with after school. A man whose volunteer work had put him near dozens of children. Dozens of vulnerable kids. Ellison stood frozen as paramedics checked his pulse. Alive, barely. The truth was undeniable now.
Ethan hadn't just been a victim. He had been selected by someone who used community trust as a weapon. Someone who almost claimed another life. The boy on the swing was safe. The predator was in custody. But the final punch landed when one officer handed Ellison an evidence bag containing a small memory card found in the suspect's pocket. A list of names. At least 12. Ethan was only one of them. As dawn crept over the park, Ellison whispered to herself, "This wasn't the end of a case. This was the beginning of uncovering all the ones we missed." And for anyone watching this story unfold, if you thought this was intense, wait until you hear what happened after they searched his home. Trust me, you'll want to subscribe so you don't miss it.